What's the difference between you're like, buying in the right way and having a portfolio? Because I'm sure if you've got a
Yeah,
portfolio, it's much harder to restructure.
that's a really good question. So I think human beings tend to be reactive. So we do things and then we realize we have a problem and then we try and fix the problem. So often, so most of my clients are first generation wealth. And what I mean by that is it's someone who has done really well. They have earned a lot of money. They have saved and invested a lot of money. And because they've then built capital, now they need to start thinking about succession within their family. They don't tend to be second, third, fourth generation because purely because those families already have advisors around them because their grandparents did succession and their parents did succession and now they're doing succession. So most of my clients would be that sort of first generation wealth where they're perhaps looking at succession for the first time.
Mhm.
They haven't had the professional advisors around them previously, and now we work with them to include those elements of succession in what they're doing. Um, so when I meet them, so we tend to be reactive, and when I meet people, they don't tend to be thinking about succession as they build their estate because they're first generation wealth building their estate. Um, So yeah, so I meet people, they're in their 50s, 60s, 70s, they've built the estate, and now someone has brought it to their attention to say, well, are you where you have inheritance tax on the estate that you built? Along with a whole host of of other sort of issues and problems and things that they may be concerned about. Um, no one's going to look after our property portfolio the way we do. Are our children old enough and responsible enough to be able to step in and manage this? Would that enable us to sort of take a bit of a step back and sort of enjoy a bit of retirement? Um, so they have all of these problems. Now they're coming out to try and address all of these problems. And we almost have to treat it in two different ways. So we look at what you've built already, and we look at the liabilities that you've built into your estate, and we will address those liabilities in a certain way. If you're going to continue to invest going forward, that might be a completely separate thing now because we can now help you to invest going forward in the most appropriate structures for your family with succession in mind. Now, it can be difficult once you've bought property, as I said, it can be difficult to move that property. You might not be able to put it into a limited company without incurring, significant tax and potentially significant fees. So you might not be able to use um the sort of preferred structure to invest with the properties that you already own. So we have to address the properties that you already own as they are, and then perhaps create something different if you want to continue to invest going forward.
Mhm.
So that tends to be the distinction. Most of my clients do come to me because they've already built the estate, they've already got some problems in there, and those problems need to be addressed. So we need to address them as they are, take the client as they are when we meet them, and address the problems that have been built into their estate. But then going forward, we're perhaps better placed to help them with a fresh investment. Now, if they come to me whenever they're in their sort of late 20s and they've done well and they've got money, we can help them to set up with
Mhm.
succession in mind. And then they haven't built the estate with the problems, so there's nothing there to address. And going forward, they can actually build it. It's
Properly.
basically it's a fresh slate, and we can
Yeah.
build it in the right environment.